Welcome everybody to Bish's RV. My name is Josh the RV Nerd, and behind us one of the biggest wolf packs they even make, the 365Pack16. It has just shy of a 16-foot garage. I think it's 15 foot 10 inches tip to tail. Gotta remember though, you're gonna lose about 9 inches of that because it does have the patio tailgate system and that new improved 3 seasons wall, but that should still leave you like a solid 15 feet of loading space, which should work for almost any side-by-side or virtually anything, even like big double-seater kayaks and stuff out there, because not every toy necessarily has to have a motor. Now, what's really cool about this one, it is uniquely suited to work in some different ways other than just hauling a toy, which obviously is its primary function. But with no slides on the campsite and double awnings, this is a very seasonal site-friendly RV with washer-dryer hookups and all kinds of things like that. This RV can function in a number of different ways. Not to mention, just having that 3 seasons patio function on this now totally changes all the different things I think you could do with it. I think that is categorically superior to that kind of roll-down tent screen wall that these had before. We're looking at it today with the optional generator. They've touched up both the interior and the exterior, still living up to the Platinum Wolfpack name with a very light silver skin, but they've kind of just softened up and warmed up the interior decor a little bit without really venturing too far to like crazy colors. But I also like the fact it just has a normal interior. Doesn't, I always call it like motocross, barbed wire, and blow torches. Yeah! Like extreme interiors that a lot of toy haulers have had historically. This doesn't suffer from any of that. Now it's got a lot of smart features like tank heaters, Goodyear tires, improved 300-watt standard factory solar, 30,000 BTU air conditioning system, and a host of other good stuff. It's also got a couple of hitches in its giddy-up, like a weird bed size in that front bedroom. And giving you that good info, good, bad, ugly, and in between, that's what we're going to do here today. And if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button, and let's roll, baby.
Now, if you're familiar with my videos, you may remember not too long ago, I put out a video on the 345 Wolfpack. This is basically the next step up, big brother to that one. Has the same kitchen, and basically every room is stretched a little bit on the lower deck. Living room is a little bit bigger, garage is a little bit bigger as well. Same upper deck, however. And what you're gaining down here is a little more open living space and this little half dinette. People who own a floor plane like this, what use have you, like, do you use the half dinette? Do you use that as like a desk office space or something like that? Or, you know, do you just like, hey, we just never used the thing, we took the table out. Now, the little half dinette is basically there because this RV has that mini camp kitchen, and that is, the booth is kind of half sort of over that thing. It is funny to describe something this large as, quote, only 2 slides, but that is a factual statement. There we have it. This is a true hauler, which means it is awful taller, and that is like, I don't know, a 7.5 foot tall slide out. That is not a headbanger by any stretch. Now, as long as we're looking up top here, a couple interesting things. Look at all the little seams where the roof and the wall panels meet up. Those are like little click and place plastic trim. It's not just a tape, and the tape, I don't know, I guess it's fine, but over time it always seems to get warm and you know, it peels, especially if the RV's in some humid conditions. Now that air conditioner we're looking at, every Wolfpack fifth wheel standard has dual 15,000 BTU shared centralized air conditioning. So a 30,000 BTU fully ducted air system and like 15 tie downs, and they're spread all over the place, so you shouldn't have to fight for tie down space. Now, from the front garage wall where I'm standing, back there to the dovetail, it's 15 foot 10 inches of garage space. But again, with that 3 seasons wall, you lose, I'm shooting from the hip, I've measured this, but it's been some years ago, about 9 in... Hold on. Oh, I know, I'm looking at this bed, and it's crooked. I'm sorry. If I see something, it's because I failed to properly secure that rear corner. That's on me. That's not on Wolfpack. There, so there's nothing wrong there. Sorry about that. I just looked up. I'm like, wait a minute. Something's kittywampus. Technical term. Anyway, by the way, you see that you do have that full queen bed above. If you drop that thing down, then it would rest at about the height of those benches that you're seeing right there. Now, those benches can also fold together to create an extra bed that would be located obviously much, much closer to the ground. Nobody expects you to be picked up and heaved up and sit in these things when they're hanging up there. And in point of fact, you definitely should not do that. But you get the idea. These things can jump up, jump down, move all around like Mambo number 5. You've also got the ability, whether you want 6 people sitting at this thing, 3 on each side, or 2 plus 2. You have a little, almost like, truck style fold down console armrest in these things. But a lot of toy haulers have stuff like that. You may notice these are finally including that 3 Seasons kind of screen wall right there. And there's just something so fun and so cool about these. You just walk out on the rear patio, and you know where I thought this would be really nice is like in the mornings when everything's wet. It is kind of nice to come out here and, not go traipsing through the wet campground or anything like that. Not to mention the fact that there's just something fun and cool about being a little bit elevated like this, kind of looking over your campsite, Now, this ramp is rated for 3,000 pounds. That is when the ramp is in the down position for loading. For patio mode, it does go to 1,500 because the very far end of this, where I'm standing, currently not supported, but 1,500 pounds of this, that's, I think, plenty. I think that's plenty right there. On the right, you see you've got the blackout snap-on shades on those windows to give you an A-B option. Over here on the left, I prepared one without that. Now, that window doesn't open for airflow. The little free-floating table, use that anywhere you want. Actually, you could also use that up in front of the sofa if you wanted to, although this one does, again, have that dinette. It is ready for a TV on the loft wall up here. You see the little sticker and the TV hookups. You also see a camera prep mount back here, so that whether you're using it in bunk mode and you got to keep an eye on the kids, whether it's like eyes wide shut and you want to spy on your guests, creepy, or if you're going down the road, you want to make sure that your motorcycle or whatever is where it's supposed to be, you can after you hit a chuck hole, you can do that too. Now, apparently I forgot to secure the 3 Seasons door behind me, and it just slammed shut, and I about crapped my pants. Anyway, speaking of not crapping your pants, you've got a half bath back here. But it's kind of a collapsible, fold-open half bath. Like I said when we began, you have your choice of doing your business with company or doing your business alone. Totally up to you. Now, it is a small space. They are trying to be very conservative with everything. So you do have that kind of little mini sink over there. I also want to mention, you're going to want to make sure you bring some toilet paper back here. It doesn't, from the factory, have a little toilet paper roller. Now, this partition wall right there, you might notice how that is also hinged and can fold flat against the wall. You see the little hold back strap down there, the little bullet latch or whatever those are called, little barrel latch thing on that. If you wanted to, you could, I think you have to remove that little folding partition wall, and then you could convert this over, you could use it as a washer dryer space. So again, the garage space back here, very, very customizable. You can use it in a number of different ways. Now, we're going to see all the stuff open up in detail in just a minute. But first of all, I kind of just want to give you like a nice one-shot connected once-over. Not all the windows open for airflow. That's another one of those things where, I'll shoot you straight. I'll let you know what things do and what they don't do. I sound eerily close to like something that Kevin from The Office would say, like, why use many word when few word do, or something like that. Electric space heating Tootsie Toaster over here. Now, Wolfpack does still use floor vented heating in some places, only where they really absolutely need to. Sometimes you'll see cabinet ducts, sometimes floor ducts. It just depends on the space they have and what they can do and where they could do it. And by the way, this little table, there's nothing really stopping you here. If you don't like it, those pedestal mounts can just unscrew right out of the floor. You could take that out of there. And again, you see like I think the furnace is under half of that. And then you've got like the camp kitchen under the other half. So it's not like there's storage. You can't really fully remove that. And I need some of your feedback right here. You see where the TV hookups are located. Now, if I plop my butt down on that, party couch that we were at, especially if I reclined. Yeah, that thing's way up at the ceiling, and if you recline, it's not bad. But what do you think about the positioning? And what do you think about the fact this does not include a television? Like, are you okay with that? Or something this size for this kind of budget, do you think it should have some sort of entertainment? And what should that be? No wrong answers. I appreciate anything you're willing to leave in the comment section. We can send that back to the factory. For now, though, let's start diving open all the different storage space that we can here, starting with the drawers down here under the kitchen. Now, this U-shaped kitchen, I don't care if it's toy haulers, like Montana High Country does some of it. I love this U-shaped kitchen setup right here. I think that this is one of the best kitchen arrangements out there. So much counter space, so much storage, and Wolfpack's construction allows them to put power outlets like in the walls right down where you actually want them, which is really nice. New big 12-volt fridge, also a new 300-watt solar package goes along with this, which is an electrifyingly good thing. You may also notice, like in that sofa slide side, they're able to do things like add some nice USB plugs where you want them. That sofa, by the way, is heat and massage as well. Now, while we're looking over here, one thing I want to point out, the RV doesn't have a traditional stereo. Cherokee Group has kind of gone away from that. Fewer people listening to like AM, FM radio, you know. Instead, you can, the RV still has a sound system, you just Bluetooth straight to it. And you may have noticed the Obi-Wan Kenobi motion sensitive panel right over here. Right when you walk in the door, it lights up so that, you know, the switches that you need to be able to see everything all in one place, all up in your face. And apparently I'm punching the camera. Moving upstairs here, I mentioned that this RV has the exact same upper deck as a 345 Wolfpack. Now, maybe you haven't seen that. Maybe you don't know what that thing is. And if you are looking for something just slightly smaller, I do have full video coverage of that one as well. But if you haven't seen it, well, I still want to make sure you know what you're getting for all your money over here. No traditional linen cabinet in this. They kind of have two extra large medicine cabinets fulfilling that role. Now, the upper deck of this is nice and tall. I don't have headroom issues in there. That radius shower, if you go corner to corner, the elbow room's not bad, but it just kind of depends on where you stand and how you stand in that thing. Radius showers, a lot of people don't like them. I can deal with them. Then again, I'm not too worried. Like any RV shower, it's a camper shower. It's not amazing to me. Anyway, you see that big vent fan up there? It's one of the cool things the Cherokee Group does. Anything that's 8 foot wide or wider, like this is 8.5 foot wide max width, they put the bigger vent fans in. Now, this bed is one of those interesting, weird things. RV industry, I wish they would just start adopting more standardized bed sizing. It's 67 inches wide and 74 inches long. I don't even know what to call it, like an Olympic queen. I've called it a king in the past, and I don't think I'm going to do that anymore because it's not. It's just weird. Remember, dual air standard in here. TV hookups on the wall all the way over there in the corner. And notice the upper deck here, the shades they're using. It's just, simple cloth blinds. It's not big, ugly valances. But I found that a lot of people in the upper deck, the bedroom, they just leave all that stuff shut all the time anyway. So I don't know that that's a wrong answer. Do you like the window treatments? I'm curious. Now, digging a little deeper, X-ray vision, go! Looking at the underbed storage here, that easy lift. There is also full storage above that thing. And then, as we wrap our way around here, you see you've actually got 3 closets, one beside the bed, and then 2 over here in the wardrobe slide. And once again, the upper deck of this exactly the same as the 345 Wolfpack. Maybe you like that, maybe you don't. I don't know, but that's what she is. So now kind of flipping gears a little bit, closing up the slides and taking a look at this thing in road mode. Looking from the kitchen up toward what would be the bedroom and bathroom access, you see very quickly when the slide closes up, you totally lose access up there. However, the slide out doesn't come right up to the kitchen peninsula. It's one of the nice parts about this having that bigger, wider body. It means that while this may not be travel stayover friendly, you'll definitely have to open up the slide if you want to take like a sleep break. If you just need to make a quick travel stop, she's very functional for something like that. Like you just need to stop, make a sandwich, like wash your hands or something like that. I don't know why I said wash your hands. It felt right, but now it sounds weird. So what happens when you're going down the road and that double bean burrito from Taco Bell's talking back at you? Well, remember that back here in this garage, you do have that half bath. So depending on how you set up that collapsible partition wall and how you load and what you load, you might still be able to use that as an option. Not to mention, once again, depending on what you're loading and how it's loaded, you could do something like use one or both of those beds for travel stops. Now, keep in mind, these that are the benches currently doing the Jedi float in midair right here, you should really only use those when they're all the way down on the ground because they're not middle supported. But this big one right here If you drop that to just the midway point where basically it stops, it is properly supported, and you could use that for a travel sleepover.
Now, when we start talking towing, this thing's big. This is very big. Not only is it long, it is heavy, and it's got empty, unloaded, before generator option applied, just under 2,900 pounds of hitch weight alone. Now, hitch weight on toy haulers is a little bit funny because it is a little bit arbitrarily high since they are sort of expecting you to put a big heavy load back in that garage behind the axles, but this thing's big. I don't know that just dually is the wrong answer on something this large, this wide, this long, you know. And speaking of wide, like me, it is as big as it can possibly be. No, it is 8.5 foot wide, which is the biggest you can make a towable RV before you got to put wide load placards on it. By the way, you may have noticed those slides are slide awning prepped. If an RV isn't specifically slide awning prepped, often they can still be added, so kind of keep that in mind. Now, down below here, you see that this one has been optioned with the NPS inverter generator, which NPS is the company that builds them. It's fully Yamaha plans. It even comes with a Yamaha owner's manual and key fob. That's a cool thing. You can remote start this thing off a key fob like your car or truck, as it were. No, this is not Geo Metro towable, and yeah, you know what? I'm pretty sure a Ford Ranger could handle 2 of these, but hey, never mind. What I'm getting at here is it's just a nice, easy little feature right there. It also has a pull start on it, just in case you really do leave yourself, you know, up the creek without a paddle. Now, I'm on the shady side, the dark side of the moon on this one, but I think you'll still get the idea. This RV no longer has a dark silver skin. If you look, you can see a little contrast. That's white. This is just a very light silver, very light platinum color package that they have on here. You see over there for 23, they've changed over to tankless on-demand water heaters, which is kind of nice. If you do have a bunch of people, like if you're using this as an alternative to a bunkhouse and you're cooking and a lot of people taking showers all at the same time, that's a very handy feature. You may have noticed that generator was down there in a miniature drop frame. It kind of drops down. That allows them to maintain a decent separated front pass-through compartment on this that is a little bit reflective and showing you what I talked about earlier, that wide body I was talking about. Thankfully, I also don't yet need wide load placards, although if I keep at it the way that I've been, you know, there's going to be, I'm going to need a chase car following me through Walmart's aisles. Anyway, they went with dual awnings. I think it's 15 and 12, bigger awning up front right here, which this one's really nice because you can hop out the entry door and slide right over here to your little mini camp kitchen. Now, it doesn't actually have a cooker, but they do have a propane cooker hooker right down there. I almost kind of feel like the camp kitchenette, as it were, is backwards. I think it is, the technical term for this is bass-ackwards, but the fridge, to me, should be on the left so that the little dog dish flip-out the water sink is over here next to the water source. I don't know, I'm not a rocket scientist, but that sure makes more sense to me. Now, to zero back in on something over here, you may have noticed these brackets. Interestingly, Wolfpack does not have auto leveling. They still have power rear stabilizers, but those brackets, this is all auto leveling prep. So that is an upfit that we could provide for you. Or, frankly, we can just look at another brand of toy hauler that already has it on it. You know, with our big lineup, we can do that too. Goodyear Endurance radials now standard on these, which is awful nice. And since these steps back here fold up into the garage, they put those little drop-down legs, and I purposely made them all kinds of crazy looking so that you can see, you can adjust those independently. Frankly, I'm kind of becoming a big fan of that setup and that system. Sorry about the light coming in over here. I'm trying to shield it with my hand, but it ain't working so awful well. You know, the Moride, the Lippert stable steps, they're cool, but sometimes they just don't want to marry up with the ground awful nicely. Now, this is kind of more of our entertainment space back here. You got the Drunken Uncle leash latch for the four-legged furry friends down below the awning, and that black square right in the middle there, that is a outside TV hookup in case you want to bring some entertainment outdoors. Now, backing up here, again, the dual power awnings and no slides on the campsite. Very, like, seasonal site friendly. And because this thing is so darn tall, those awnings are sitting up so high, if you put a deck next to this RV, I still don't think it would be too awful bad. Like, I could see somebody getting something like this and just not towing it. I could see that working very well. Now the steps back here, removable. You can choose to mount them in the garage if you want. You know what's funny? From the factory, sometimes they mount them, sometimes they don't. Oh shoot, I forgot to secure that door. Hopefully the wind doesn't slam that thing around. If it does and it breaks, that'll be my fault and I'll pay for it. I do try to make right by my mistakes. I won't ever claim to be perfect. Looking up top here, you see backup camera prep. These are also now side view camera prepped, which previously they just were not. You also saw that flood loading light back there. Now there is, like you see that open walk space there to go up the steps into the patio. There is a gate that you can swing over to close that. You don't have to use the steps if you don't want to. Now, the one we're looking at today does have that optional generator. No matter what, this will always be at least gen prepped. But the thing to understand is that generators are not necessarily interchangeable. So this is made for that like NPS Yamaha. Oh wow, why do you even watch this stuff? I don't blame you for tuning out. This is made for that NPS Yamaha style generator. You can't just slap an Owning into this. They like aren't exactly compatible. Things have to change. But you will also always have a 30-gallon fuel station, and that's what's in that little box hanging down here. You've also got that handy sewer hose caddy tube. This does have a double sewer outlet because, you've got kitchen in the middle, you got the half bath in the back, the full bathroom all the way up front, and the tires in between. They just didn't cross-plumb everything. Don't know if they didn't want to, couldn't, not sure. Heated belly with tank heaters as well, standard on these. Now, I'd love to get you up to the roof. I'd love to show you the 300-watt solar package that they have on these, the new 30-amp charge controller. Well, I'm not going to show you the charge controller on the roof. You get the idea. But they don't give us a ladder. They do have that little bracket at the top of the sidewall there if you want to get one of those telescopic ladders. I suppose being a toy hauler, it has plenty of room that you could store that when you're not using it. But you got to remember, you need one of the very long telescopic ladders. They're not all one size. Like the one I use in a lot of my videos on my travel trailers, it don't fit. And as Johnny Cochran said, if the ladder don't fit, then you must ship a new one. Yeah. So the thing to remember with something like this, like it's easy to look at this and say, well, a Fusion, a Momentum, a Voltage, a Raptor, whatever, has more jazzy pants, shiny shoes features than this. They're better, right? They're better in different ways, but they're also more expensive, often by a clip. And that's the cool thing about these Wolfpacks. They do a lot of the major things for you right from the factory. They even do a couple nice things like those bigger power vent fans right from the factory. But a few of those more preferential items, like, they let you pick your own TV. Again, I'm really on the fence on that. I'd really love to hear from you folks. What is your take on that? What would you like to see for entertainment on this standard from the factory? Or are they doing it right? That's the kind of thing I'd like to hear from you. Let me know how they're doing, and I can relay that feedback back to the factory. They are listening, trust me. So when you're ready, folks, we're ready. And in the meantime, hit subscribe and enjoy the next one. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.